there's one dude, so she goes to this restaurant that they all get served at, and there's one dude who works at that restaurant, and I want you to see what you think about this. No, see if you can recognize the reference here.
Okay.
You recognize that?
Oh, the Charlie Brown shirt?
The Charlie Brown shirt. Yeah, the Charlie Brown
kimono.
Kimono, yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that at first, but then they kept calling him Charlie Brown, Charlie Brown.
And see,
hey, Charlie Brown, get your Charlie Brown ass out of here.
So I gotta wonder if he just threw that in because, you know, Charlie Brown, pop culture, or did that dude actually look like Charlie Brown? He got that round head. I wonder if he made that robe for him, man. We're gonna be at the Broadway Comedy Club again, December 8th. That's a Friday. Gonna be in the Red Room, show at 10 p.m. So please get your tickets by going to BroadwayComedyClub.com or go to Double Toasted NY. I wanna say a happy 20th release day to our movie right here. A favorite for some people out there, Kill Bill.
Come on! That woman deserves her revenge. And we deserve to die.
There's a lot of significance to this movie right here. First of all, it's significant because at the time, we were in the minority of people who were not crazy about it. Mm-hmm. I know you pretty much flat out didn't like the movie. Mm-hmm. I was just kind of not that enthusiastic about it. I respected it to certain levels, but I just wasn't crazy about the film. And I'm going to repeat this later, but I'll say it right now. Wasn't crazy about the movie because I thought it was just kind of a film geeks movie and they were enjoying it just because of the cool factor in it. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about how we feel about the movie today because you watched some of it. And I watched it again. To be honest with you, I have not seen it except for maybe bits and pieces in places like bars.
Sure.
You know, but I haven't seen the movie since it came out, and that is 20 years ago pretty much. So in 2 days, now we're streaming this on October 8th. This movie was released on October 10th. So in a couple of days for us, exactly 20 years when this came out. Have we changed our minds? Well, we'll talk about that. But I want to talk about how significant this was to Quentin Tarantino's career.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it was very telling about where he was at the time as a director. Mm-hmm. It says a lot about his career, the success of his career at the time. And everybody knows the story here, as you saw in bits and pieces here in the trailer. This deals with Uma Thurman as the bride, you know, a assassin who tried to get out tried to leave that life, Martin. Mm-hmm. And they said, well, you want to leave that life? You won't have no life. They said, you don't walk away from Bill. Bill, who apparently is the boss or king of assassins or something.
Yeah, I guess so.
Bill was the one that was her boss / lover and did not want her to leave. And since he did not give her permission and she left anyway, he says, you know what, I'm going to kill you and your whole wedding.
Yeah, your whole wedding. Everybody you know.
Yep. You got an invitation and you, sorry, wrong place, wrong time. You got to die.
Invitation to death.
Yeah. And funny thing is, they were there to kill her, killed everybody but her. I mean, not for lack of trying,
yeah.
But since they left her alive, as with most revenge stories, you should have killed me when you had the chance. And now I'm going to come back and kill everybody that attempted to take me out. And I love a revenge story, by the way, which is one of my problems with the movie right here. But we're going to talk about this film and how we feel about it. And as I said, what this meant for Quentin Tarantino as far as being Quentin Tarantino, the director we know now. So, you know, talking about his career and jump in anytime you want.
Sure.
It is significant of how Quentin Tarantino was now considered a superstar director. Now, he was already kind of up there.
Oh, yeah.
But this one really kind of cemented him as an auteur, cult-like following, but I say cult-like because it went beyond that. Mm-hmm. I mean, he had super fans.
Yeah, not this cult-like only the cult people like this. It's like, no, he's built a cult around him.
Yeah, he built a cult. Now, you combine that with enough movies that are critically successful and more importantly, financially successful. Yeah. I don't think he's lost money on any of his movies. It may be one. But his movies always solid business. Fans are rabid for his work. Everybody knows his name, you know, and it got to that point where his name sold the movies.
Yep.
And I say this with Kill Bill because Kill Bill is significant of that fact right there, that this is what told us that his name sold the movies, because this was the first time that they were saying the fourth film by Quentin Tarantino. Now that's
ballsy.
That is usually reserved for like the trailer. He put that at the beginning of his movie.
Right.
This is my fourth film, y'all, that I know y'all been waiting on.
And it is of great importance that you are here for this.
Yes. No, it was visually emphasized that I know y'all been waiting on my shit.
You are privileged, my friend.
Yeah. As Martin is saying right here, when you ballsy enough to pull a move like that, let everybody know what number movie you got coming out. It's not even the name of the movie yet.
Right.
We ain't even got to Kill Bill yet. We got, before that came up, the fourth film by Quentin Tarantino.
It's also a weird thing. It's like, this is my fourth film, where you're like, well, most directors don't even try to brag at all until they get about 10 or 20 films.
Yeah.
And your fourth film, you making a big deal about? Okay, all right.
Yeah, shit. Martin Scorsese, he had to make, about 7 of them before they started saying, oh, this guy's got something.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm exaggerating.
Man, but it's me, though.
Yeah. Well, hey, with that right there, that comes with power, man. And so with that power that he has, and without his writing partner anymore, Roger Avery, who tragically was in a car accident that killed people. So he went to jail.
Yeah.
So he didn't have his writing partner who was with him for Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction. I forgot about Jackie Brown. I don't know if he was.
Yeah, I don't know if he was on that one.
But even if let me just say this: he was not with him for Jackie Brown. But Jackie Brown was an adaptation.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, of an Elmore Leonard.
Leonard novel. So he took who he loves, by the way, Quentin Tarantino. He loves an Elmore Leonard. So that's an adaptation. So it's still taking somebody else's work. But Kill Bill, this was Tarantino unleashed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No restrictions.
No, none at all, man. None at all. Kill Bill.
Now I don't have some other stupid writer telling me what I can and can't do.
This was the first time that he was free to indulge in his love of pop culture, nostalgia, and just, again, cinematic geekery, man.
Yeah.
People say he has that encyclopedic knowledge of movies, and he put all that to use right here.
Yeah.
If Quentin Tarantino could film himself jacking off film knowledge, like if out his penis came out film facts and information, this would be Kill Bill, man. It's nothing new, because I know what people are saying. You're saying, well, he's always done pop culture in his movies. He's always been a pop culture person, and you're right, man. Pop culture is always, and his cinematic influences have always been a part of his movies. I mean, his big debut, Reservoir Dogs, the movie opens up with him talking about Madonna.
What was I talking about? So True Blue was about a guy, sensitive girl that meets a nice guy, but let me.
Damn, I thought the screen went to black.
I was like, what are you doing over there?
The cameraman was like, move, God damn it.
Like a virgin. See, the pain is reminding a fuck machine what it was once like to be a virgin. Hence, like a virgin.
Thing is, that's Quentin Tarantino.
I know.
That ain't him playing a character.
And I love how it's everybody at the table's looking like, I don't want to hear this shit.
Why do we have this guy every heist we do, man? Why don't talk about movies and pop culture songs?
Is he at the end yet?
God damn, yesterday he was talking about Yogi Bear and some shit. I don't know.
It's just a goddamn picnic basket, man. The bear is hungry.
It's not a picnic basket, man. He obviously has a drug problem, man. I'm telling you. But that set him apart. It's like it was a whole. You talk about Pulp Fiction, where these guys are driving around talking about nothing. Reservoir Dogs, the movie opens up with them talking about nothing. And that's what people, they're
having conversations similar to some you might have. It downplays the seriousness of what they're about to do, but not so much downplays it, but just shows the mundanity of this is just a job to them. They still talk about other things.
Yeah. And people are saying that's very refreshing for a crime film.
Yeah.
Even more so for Pulp Fiction, where you got the two henchmen who were never the main characters, but they're the two main characters who were spending a lot of the movie talking about bullshit.
Yeah.
But, Pulp Fiction was just a cornucopia of nothing but pop culture references, man. If they weren't talking about it, he had some sort of item or small pop culture token in the background.
Well, it was one of the things that gave it that bit of realism, is that in that most movies don't mention other properties. They don't mention any pop culture. to bring it in here was like, oh, this feels more like real life where we do have these things.
Yeah.
And cereal commercials play in the background.
Yeah, they're eating cereals that are not even made anymore. You know, but he remembered it from back in the day as a sort of like, hey man, I bet you don't remember this cereal right here.
Sandy, have you got the ring?
Fruit Brute.
Fruit Brute.
Fruit Brute. But I remember everybody back then like, man, I've eaten a lot of those monster cereals. I ain't never hung out with the Fruit Brute before.
I remembered the Fruit Brute, but I never had any.
Please.
And watching Three Stooges, man, you know. So if if they weren't talking about it, they weren't making it center stage. It was always something in the background. But speaking of background, the thing is, with Reservoir Dogs, with Pulp Fiction, with Jackie Brown, the pop culture was very prevalent, but it played a background role because it was about characters.
Yes, with the pop culture references and all that, it was the flavor that went on the meal. It was the extra salt and pepper and maybe something spicy, and that just gave it that much more to taste. And then we got to Kill Bill. The spices were the whole thing.
Yeah, no, it's with Kill Bill, all that took over. See, Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs and Jackie Brown, which Jackie Brown is actually my favorite for those who don't know. All of those were character-based stories. You know, and when you get to Kill Bill, as you said, Martin, you know, by that point with Kill Bill, you know, pop culture, cinematic references, those were the stars. They were those were the characters that took center stage here. Yeah,
imagine somebody for dinner, they gave you a bowl of salt and pepper and sugar.
Yeah, I say this because, you know, this is such a fantasy story, Kill Bill. It's a fantasy. It's almost a cartoon. And it's a cartoon or a fantasy, a fantastical story that is driven. It is driven and fueled by Quentin Tarantino's influences. You know, because it feels like everything that he loves poured into one movie, crammed into one movie. You know, crime movies, westerns, especially spaghetti westerns, Japanese cinema, 60s cinema. You know, it's all in here in one form or another, man. And for a long time, I didn't like Kill Bill because of this. I didn't like Kill Bill at all because of that. You know, like I said, I respected it on the filmmaking level. But I thought it was something where he was kind of just getting a pass from people because people just kind of like, oh shit, that's the cool thing right now. Oh yeah, man, you know, Chinese cinema. Yeah, everybody loves that. He's doing it. Yeah, I love it. I love anime, you know? You know, it's almost kind of a thing too, where it's like people were saying, like, especially film geeks, hey, you know what? I got that. I know that reference. I know where that's from. Kind of got on my nerves.
Sure. And this was also when a movie would come out, it'd be like, well, Quentin Tarantino presents. Yeah. As if he was like the guy who discovered it, you know, like Columbus discovering America. It's like it was already there.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. This is a revenge movie. Now, this is just a personal thing because I'm not putting that on this film. But personally for me, revenge movies are driven by emotion. I got to really be angry at this person that they want to kill to root this person, this other person trying to get their revenge.
Because they're going to commit atrocities on the way to it.
Yeah.
So you got to be that much more angry at their target.
I got to feel like this person really deserves it, man. You know, and I got to be, you know, and that's the way it has to be for somebody who's going to kill someone. So for a revenge movie, I really got to hate the person or dislike the person they're going after. Because this was so filled with, you know, cinematic references and pop culture. I didn't even feel like I knew Bill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bill was a character that I didn't care if she killed him or not. You know, it pretty much turned into a movie where she was going around killing people stylistically. Yeah. And that's the thing about this. This didn't have the emotion for me to really feel the need for revenge here. So it kind of fell flat in that area. But, you know, and there is a scene of revenge in this movie, but it has nothing to do with Bill.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really even see the thing she wants to, you know, the incident that happened that she wants to get revenge for until you get to the beginning of the second movie.
Well, the thing in the movie that I rooted for is a very small scene in the movie. There's a part where I was like, yeah, get that, man. It was a part where she was in a coma So if
Oh,
anybody
yeah.
remembers the movie, there's an attempt on her life by Bill. She's shot in the head. She doesn't die. She's in a coma for like 4 months. During that whole time, one of the male nurses is bringing people in to rape her comatose body, man. I mean, old country ass looking rapists too, like old redneck ass looking rapists, like people that look like they rape people.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, with that, I found that whole thing so disturbing. It's early in the movie.
Yeah.
Where I was like, okay, forget what Bill did. I'm still hung up on this. And even after this is taken care of and she's moving on, I'm just like, I'm still stuck back there.
Well, that's the thing for me. I said, this is the moment that I think I got my revenge, or my emotional feeling of that need for revenge. Bill, I was like, that guy.
Yeah.
This old goddamn Billy Bob looking dude.
Oh, goddamn, you were the best looking girl I've had today.
Yeah, that's what you get.
Exactly.
I was like right there. I was like, yeah, that to me was the big revenge part of the movie. And I was like, all right, once that was done, I was like, well, I'm satisfied.
Well, she had to get the guy who set it up, the nurse.
Yeah, exactly.
And then after that.
I was like, yeah, that's what the hell you get. This still remains on the lower end of the list of Quentin Tarantino movies for me. But I had to say, I still have respect for it, and I even have more respect for it now that I've gone in with a different frame of mind.
Yeah.
Because at the time I was going in looking for a revenge movie, and I didn't get the revenge movie that I wanted. So, who am I to say anything? That was, Quentin Tarantino, is his movie, had a different goal. Looking at it in that way now, I think, okay, I feel like I get the movie more, or at least I accept it on its terms. Because, at the time, listen, nostalgia was high. Today rather, nostalgia is very high.
Yeah.
Nostalgia's so high, it's annoying, man. It's there's so many things now where they put nostalgia in movies, they put nostalgia in TV shows, especially superheroes and Star Wars now.
Yeah.
They put it in there to a point where it's just there for a cheap reaction.
Yeah. I'm Batman.
Even he's tired of that shit.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. You're going to make me say it.
Yeah, whatever. But, and listen, again, Quentin Tarantino has done the same thing with nostalgia. Speaking of Batman, shit, he had Vincent Vega or John Travolta doing the Batusi in Pulp Fiction. But here's the thing with Quentin Tarantino. One of the things that I look at with Kill Bill, and I have to appreciate what Quentin Tarantino did, especially today, where I am worn out, I'm sick. I've been giving nostalgia a pass for years. I've been indulging in it. I've been like, fine, hell, it's fun for me too. But I'm tired of it now.
Yeah.
I'm at a point now where I can officially say, F you. I'm sick of it.
I've been sick of it for a while, but yes. I'm glad you got there.
No, I'm here with you now. I'm right beside you. Right behind you, Mark.
You're like, y'all are being lazy and you're trying to use cheat codes.
Yeah.
And it's not giving me anything I didn't already have.
But the thing with Tarantino, looking at all his movies, but especially looking at Kill Bill, he's not cheap with his nostalgia and his influences, man. And after looking at this, I can see how he resonates with his audience, with these references. For one, some of his references are so old that the people watching it, they don't know what the f- it is. Some people think that was actually Quentin Tarantino back on the keyboard. A lot of people don't know till this day. A lot of people don't know where that song is from or that sound is from. Oh shit, they shot Quentin Tarantino. That's a show called Ironside. Started in 1967, I think, and lasted for a while.
Yeah.
Quincy Jones wrote that theme.
Yep.
So Quentin Tarantino, he took it, but I can see why, again, a lot of people think that, they are a lot of people, when they think of it, they connect him to it. Because when Quentin Tarantino puts in a reference, man, you know, he uses it to emphasize a story beat, or he uses it to emphasize, you know, a character. Or in this case right here, when you see what's going on with Uma Thurman as the bride and Vivica Fox here. He chose that song at the right time. I will say this, you know, regardless of my feeling on nostalgia, that song says immediately, oh shit, y'all got beef. there's something going on. He has a mind for taking these things and putting them in the right place, which is why people, you know, they become memes. You know, they get connected to him so much.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was too much.
Yeah, see, I did too at one time, but then watching it today, I'm like, you know, I get it. It seems like if you're gonna use it to accentuate parts of the story, which I don't think, you know, while the story doesn't completely work for me on a revenge level, there is a story there that he's telling, and this whole thing that he uses where he uses all these pop culture references and sounds and music and whatnot. I'm like, all right, you're using it to good use. They're not just played for the sake of remember that.
Yeah.
You know, seriously, man. And maybe it's because I have a bigger appreciation for how he uses it as compared to what people use today.
Yeah.
You know, Batman was put into this movie for nothing but. You remember we thought he was gonna do some cool shit.
Yeah.
He went in there and kicked some people and punched some people, but he was gone.
Yeah.
He was there just to sell this movie, man. So I have a lot of respect for the way Quentin Tarantino uses his references in pop culture and nostalgia. Music is probably one of the biggest things that is taken from pop culture in all of his movies.
Yeah.
You know, but especially here. There's some original music written by the RZA in here. It's actually pretty cool, but he has a lot of music in here from so many different genres.
Yeah, I noticed a couple songs from the soundtrack to Truck Turner.
Yeah, so he has blaxploitation in there. Boy, a lot of old funk and soul music and blaxploitation music. I always had that skeleton in there. I always playing that skeleton's rib cage. You hear that?
Oh yeah.
Play a little cowbells. Yeah, that's from Isaac Hayes' movie called Truck Turner, man. Then he'll go from a blaxploitation soundtrack to a spaghetti western. You know, no. Mom, you got that woman singing in the background. Oh, yeah, you
No,
gone,
stop
man.
it.
That's from a spaghetti western, man. The Grand Duel, or Il Grande Duello. I wish Julian was here. He tried to order that shit at the Olive Garden. Y'all got the El Grande Duello?
Shoot, Corey, that'd be good. I don't know what you're talking about.
I brought a date with me.
But she only gonna eat the breadsticks though. They're unlimited, right?
And this is something that everybody remembers from the movie right here. Another thing that Quentin Tarantino made iconic. And that's Daryl Hannah as one of the assassins who was responsible for killing her, who's going to eventually get her ass whooped. But, you know, the thing is, he could have just put that in there, just have it whistled and left it alone and been like, hey, I bet you don't know what that is. That's an old movie that I remember. But, you know, again, he uses it to cinematic effect. He uses it to push the story or tell the story visually. And this is her prepping to kill the bride, Daryl Hannah's character, as she's whistling this. But as you can see, the theme gets a little richer. They actually bring in the actual music. And they use split screens to, again, push the story visually, which is why he's using this music. And I think, again, that is why it's so memorable, because he uses it to cinematic and storytelling effect. It's not just, you know, me just throwing in something or him just throwing in something just because you know, it sounds cool and he wants to let you know that he knows old movies. By the way, that whistle is from, you know, you've seen this movie, I heard about it. It's it's an old British film about a serial killer.
Oh.
Called Twisted Nerve. Some crazy ass dude got, you know what, it's like, it's an incel movie.
Okay.
Some chick rejected this dude, and so he went crazy and started stalking her and killing anybody that got in his way.
Oh, dang.
While whistling his tune.
Oh.
There he is stalking right now. Yeah, it's called Twisted Nerve.
Huh. Is it good?
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I want to see it though. But I remember I didn't know what the whistle was from. I looked it up years ago.
Yeah.
And still haven't seen the movie. But I'll get around one day.
Yeah, yeah.
I got to watch all the other references he has. Has a whole list. Hey everyone, I am so sorry. I don't mean to interrupt the video, but you know we have to give a word out to our sponsor right now, and you're going to want to hear from the sponsor because they are America's #1 meal kit, and that is HelloFresh. You know, there's nothing better than a home-cooked meal. Correction, there is a home-cooked meal that is cooked by you. Wait a minute, I can't cook anything. Shut up! Stop putting yourself down like that because now, with HelloFresh, you can. Why? Because HelloFresh, they do all the shopping, all the meal planning. You don't have to worry about a thing. The ingredients, they arrive right at your doorstep, pre-portioned and ready to cook. They have picture-by-picture and step-by-step instructions on how to do it on these cards. It's very easy. Look at that. Even the dog is doing it. If the dog can do it, you can too. What's even better is that it takes no time to cook these meals. You know, they have quick and easy recipes that take about 15 minutes or less. They have these meals that take about 30 minutes or less, depending on how fancy you want to get. Very easy to do, and they keep the variety going with 40 different recipes to choose from every week. So you'll never get bored with HelloFresh. And look at all these add-ons that they have. Look at all these ingredients that they have. Look at all these recipes that they have. You know, and it's not just dinners. You can also have things like desserts, such as apple cider cake with caramel sauce, or you can have appetizers such as barbecue pulled pork nachos. And don't forget those mini pumpkin cheesecakes, perfect for a treat to yourself. And not only are you saving time, but you're also saving money. Time is money, I know that, but HelloFresh is cheaper than shopping at the grocery store, and you know takeout is expensive. So this is about 25% less than doing takeout. And speaking of money, let me go ahead and save you some more. Now, if you go to HelloFresh.com/doubletoasted50 and use the code doubletoasted50, you'll get 50% off plus free shipping. I want to thank HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit, for sponsoring this portion of the show. And I want to thank you out there for all of your support. Now, back to the video. You know, he takes ownership of these songs, man, because he does, in a way, either make you think about parts of the film because of the music that he's used, they become iconic, or he just used them a cool effect. Again, there's some people who think that this song was written for the movie. They think that this is theme from Kill Bill.
Yeah, right.
So that is from a 70s Japanese gangster film, I think. It's called New Battles Without Honor and Humanity.
It's a long
Now that's
title.
the English translation. In Japanese, probably one word. But so I get it a little better now, you know, after seeing how lazy pop culture is used today and nostalgia is used today and just misused today. Yeah. I gotta respect Quentin Tarantino for taking it and at least using it to some artistic effect. You know, it's you know what it is? It's sincerity behind it with him.
Well, there is that. I mean, he's doing it because he loves it. It's not anything crass or commercial or, oh, this is going to really sell this. It's because he loves those things.
Now, keep in mind, he'll throw something in. It's just out of nowhere. Like he just throws it in because it is old. And you know what? Even here, I got to debate whether he threw this in for good effect or not. There's one dude. So, Lucy Liu. She plays one of the assassins, and she is head of a Yakuza now. And there's one dude, so she goes to this restaurant that they all get served at, and there's one dude who works at that restaurant, and I want you to see what you think about this. No, see if you can recognize the reference here.
Okay.
You recognize that?
Oh, the Charlie Brown
the
shirt?
Charlie Brown shirt. Yeah, the Charlie Brown
kimono.
Kimono, yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that at first, but then they kept calling him Charlie Brown, Charlie Brown.
And see-
Hey, Charlie Brown, get your Charlie Brown ass out of here.
So I gotta wonder if he just threw that in because, you know, Charlie Brown, pop culture are. Did that dude actually look like Charlie Brown? He got that round head. I wonder if he made that robe for him, man. And of course, one of the biggest Quentin Tarantino fanboy moments in here is the bride wearing the yellow jumpsuit with the black stripes when she's on the motorcycle, which is a callback to the exact same outfit that Bruce Lee wore in Enter the Dragon. Yeah, I look at all this, man. I know that he just throws in things sometimes because he just likes it. You know, I get it. But I think most of the time he uses these things to artistic effect. But visually, with all of his cinematic influences, I would have to say that Kill Bill, and I will say this, Kill Bill might not be my favorite movie and low on the list of his films, but I think it's his most visually inspired film because he just crams so many things in there.
Yeah, it's got so many different looks and locations to it.
It really does. Like near the beginning of the movie, they start out in El Paso, Texas, and it feels like sort of like a modern day Western. Something almost like Rob Zombie would make.
Right.
Give me a figure. Appear to me somebody objected to this union and wasn't able to hold their peace.
That dude looks like Butthead, don't he? An old ass Beavis. They killed everybody.
It's funny because 20 years since they made this movie, they have modernized El Paso so much.
Really?
Yeah, it's hard to find places that look like that.
So strip mall behind there now. You know, but it go from this dusty, modern Western looking thing to anime. I remember thinking that was a really cool sequence in the movie too. It's Lucy Liu's character's backstory, and they decided to tell it, but almost stereotyping because she's Asian. they gave her anime, but it looked cool. But here's the thing with this, you know, maybe some other directors wouldn't. First of all, they wouldn't be talented enough to do it this effectively, putting in so many different styles. But also, we almost allow him to do it because of that sincerity that I'm talking about. Because we know that this isn't somebody just trying to do too much. It's somebody who just really, they geek out when they make this movie.
Yeah.
This is really Quentin Tarantino. And it's not, and for him, it's on brand. You know?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we expect that from him. So he can, you know.
Well, especially after this, because up until Kill Bill, it seemed like, you know, he was going to be possibly a crime director, but, you know, very hardcore, had his own flavor, always something uncomfortable in the movies, but that was what you depended on. And these things were like, you know, ancillary, a little bit here, a little bit there.
Yeah.
But with this, it was like, oh, now is this an indulgence or is this who he's going to be from now on?
Yeah. And you know what? He's still, like I said, he has a brand now. But he has done variables of projects, you know, a variety of projects, you know, with different background settings and styles. But they always have a Quentin Tarantino element in it. There's always going to be the violence. There was going to be some sort of crime in there.
Yeah.
You know, so shit, somebody has to shoplift or something. I mean, you know, and God forbid you shoplift in a Quentin Tarantino movie, get your hand cut off. But going back to how he doesn't waste anything. I hate to keep picking on my man, but this is the only clip I have. Again, this is Batman again, The Flash. I mean, I'm only going back because I have this clip right here. There's so many other examples of doing this where they bring in a cameo.
Show us on the doll where the Flash touched you.
Everywhere. No, this is the only clip I have.
Okay.
I have no other references right now. But what I'm saying is that this is a cameo.
Yeah.
It was a glorified cameo that was brought in for nothing but, again, for people to just, you know, applaud for a moment.
Sure.
You know, it was cheap.
Yeah.
You know, I can say this about Tarantino, man, where he brings in his idols. And they're not a cameo. You know, maybe you know he'll try to make them a character. He brought in Sonny Chiba.
Yeah.
Sonny Chiba, martial artist, you know, superstar, Japanese superstar, and brought him in and made him a character. You know, it's an idol of his. He loves this guy. He even said with what's her name? What's her name in Jackie Brown?
Pam Grier?
Pam Grier. He said with Pam Grier, he said, you know, I love Pam Grier, but I'm gonna wait for the right project with her.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put her in something where she can be spotlighted, where she can actually, you know, live up to her legend. So with Sonny Chiba, man, he did the same thing. He's like, you know, I'm gonna bring him in. He's not the main character, but he's gonna be a significant role in this film.
I think
よく語ったに。将軍なら俺は天の陛下だよ。いいか。ハゲじゃない。
He's crazy.
Do you understand?
Get your ass back to work. Pull up a butcher knife, man.
for me personally, the best scenes in the movie are the ones with Sonny Chiba.
Oh yeah.
All this here in that bar. I was rewatching it. I was like, man, I really enjoyed this part right here.
No, this was a little mini movie in here, man. I love the stuff with him and his assistant, man.
Yeah.
His assistant talking shit. Those two. You know, it's not a huge part of the movie, but it's great, man. You know, and if he's gonna bring all this stuff in, all these different influences, then, you know, direct them great. And there's so many things here. All these influences are directed in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And to me, he kind of tackles all of them with expertise. I was really amazed how some scenes he handled the drama, some scenes he handled like the usual shootout action between two characters, but then, you know, like the martial arts that's in here with the weaponry. I mean, you know, I'm sure he got a coordinator to come in and help him with it.
Sure.
Yeah, but still, I was really impressed at how he filmed these fight scenes. That was a character named Gogo, which the Japanese schoolgirl is, you know, the schoolgirl outfit. That's nothing new, you know, Sailor Moon and all that. But I'm sure that there was probably some influence from what's that movie? Battle Royale,
yeah.
where they had they had one of the girls dressed up in a school outfit lose her mind, and this character has lost her goddamn mind. Yeah. Again, using the influences for something more than just a reference. You know, that character of Gogo is an actual character. Just from a filmmaking point of view, I love the whole thing that happened at the restaurant, Japanese restaurant.
Oh, with the crazy 88s.
The crazy 88s, man. Because again, he does so many different styles of filmmaking in one sequence. You know, it just switches from one visual to another. Like there's that part where it just goes to black and white for no reason. Now I wonder if he had to switch, maybe somebody can tell me, if he had to switch to black and white to keep from getting an NC-17, because that's so much blood.
Yeah, but there's so much blood all throughout this movie.
Yeah, but you know, you get some scenes where it's like if you got one violent act right after another, going on for 5 minutes, you know, I wonder. But I don't know, it could just be a stylistic thing too. But it looked pretty cool. I like that. But then we switch from black and white to full vibrant color, like the part where they switched the scene to blue. You know, I look at that and you've gone 2 styles already in one sequence. And then it climaxes with this snowy Japanese garden setting right here, which I have to say, again, that's not with the looks either. It's with his direction. Like that part right there, the use of sound in this part right here is done very well. You know, during this whole time, you had that setup there with the water fountain making that noise, adding to the tension of that. Plus, you know, it's just a beautiful looking scene right here, man. You know, great sound editing, great action. You know, it's stuff like that where I walk away and I was like, you know what, I really have to respect this movie for, you know, all the creativity that went into it. You know, I might not be getting the story that I want, but I really do enjoy it. I'd enjoy it a lot more for how it was handled. And outside of the references and pop culture and nostalgia and everything, it's just, I gotta appreciate the weird touches in here. Little things that, you know, only some of your best directors will pay attention to do. They had that scene where the mosquito landed on Uma Thurman's hand or whatever, and you could hear the mosquito puncturing her skin like somebody drinking a big gulp or something.
And just munching.
And doing the close up like that, building a prop to show the skin that much close up.
Jesus. Like all that's happened to her was that mosquito. What's the thing?
Was the one that woke her ass up. The decision to make Tokyo look like a fake city, like a model for I don't know, just weird creative reasons. I don't know if it's a Godzilla reference.
That's what I was thinking too.
I don't know, but it's I like it. I just it's weird little touches like that sets his world apart. His vision apart from any other auteur who has a singular vision or a unique vision. It's so I do like the movie more today. Again, not crazy about it, but it's just a personal preference. I get why people really enjoy it. I at the beginning, with my snobby ass, I didn't get why people like you like that shit. But today
I got why they liked it because they were film geeks.
Yeah, and
it spoke to them.
But I appreciate it now. I appreciate people who even like it for that reason, for them being film geeks, because that's what this is. This whole thing is nothing but film geekery, and looking at it as Quentin Tarantino's just pop culture playground. Sandbox, it's fine, man. I do come away with a lot more enjoyment of it than I did 20 years ago. That's one of the things that really indicates that people change after a while.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm a much different person, but it sounds like you don't feel that much.
No. Because with 20 years passing, and like you, I hadn't watched it since, other than seeing clips in bars here and there. There are some things I appreciate, and there are some things I watched and I was like, I like this part less now. And for the most part, the things I had trouble with, those didn't mellow or go away. Matter of fact, I had started watching Kill Bill 2 and it just reinforced my feeling that this could have been edited into one movie. Because so much of it's a cartoon, it's anime. Yeah. And there's, as much as I will complain about a lot of modern films not spending the time with scenes to let you really breathe them and feel them, this will spend a lot of time on something that's kind of inconsequential. And I was like, man, this could be a lot tighter here.
What would you give the movie today?
I'd give it a rental.
Rental? Yeah, see, where I don't know, maybe I was at a rental at one time. I think today I'd give it a matinee, probably a high matinee. I just really enjoyed the filmmaking in this. I had surprisingly, I had a lot
sporadically I did.
Yeah. I just had a lot more fun with it this time. I watched it and I was actually enjoying myself. This could have been a full price movie for me had I just, had some, it had more substance to it for me.
Yeah, I guess I find it with this and so many of his films since this, where the balance isn't right. And what I mean by that, between the darkness and the humor, it's because when the opening, the early scene we show where she's in a coma and a nurse is letting people pay him to rape her.
Yeah.
That's so big and so dark that to then go to but we're assassins and we got to try to kill each other in this almost cartoon style. I'm just so man, this first thing in the beginning, that's way heavier than the rest of this. It's hard for me to get into all the rest of this when that happened. Oh. And a lot of his films since then have done that, for me anyway.
I said, he said, "Oh, lighten up, Martin."
And I was like, you should want to hunt down all the dudes who he paid to come in there on you.
Well, you killed the person that already knew who did it. So
yeah, I know.
Yeah, so she can't make that list. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, there you go, folks. Some people change, some people don't.